Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video. This is a part 2 of the first video I did on my pruning season. In that video, I talk about the various things the Lord has pruned me from during what has been a very intense season. I would be doing a disservice to myself if I didn't talk about the beautiful fruit that has been produced in this season. We know that when the Lord prunes, it is to make room for long lasting, eternal fruit. This has been a very humbling season for me, and you don't realize how much pride you operate in until the Lord humbles you. I am more aware now of my brokenness and how helpless I am without the Lord. A broken and contrite spirit is what pleases the Lord. In this state of brokenness, humility is being nurtured and developed. God gives more grace to the humble, which is the desperation and plea of my heart for God's grace to abound more in my life. One practical way of how the fruits of the Spirit is being developed in my life is learning to tame the tongue during conflict, showing gentleness rather than contention. A gentle answer, not a harsh one, turns away wrath. Also, learning not to be defensive or to be adamant about getting my point across for the sake of being right. Also, considering that person higher than myself by acknowledging their feelings and aiming for unity, not discord. This is the heart of God. It matters to the Lord how we treat people. The second commandment he gave us after loving him is to love our neighbors as ourselves. Our love for the Lord should reflect how we treat others. Secondly, this season has produced true godly sorrow that has led to repentance. I repented to the Lord and to that friend as well. Conviction and repentance are gracious gifts from the Lord that redirects our path. I also felt that I was given a new perspective on what true repentance that pleases the Lord looks like. When we perceive the grievance that sin causes, our hearts are heavy and grieved over our sin. It wrecks us but changes us for the good. The Lord allows us to feel the weight and magnitude of our sin because it separates us from Him. And in our own sinful nature, we cannot save or redeem ourselves. True repentance is marked by a turning away from the things that grieve the heart of God and walking into the freedom of His forgiveness through the finished work of the cross. I have also been rebuked and chastised by the Lord heavily in this season, but it's all been for my greater good. It shows that I belong to the Lord and that I'm His child. Hebrews 12:6 says, "For the Lord disciplines those He loves, and He punishes each one He accepts as His." Hebrews 12:11 says, "No chastening seems joyful for the present, but painful. Afterward, it yields the peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it." I can say that I'm thankful for how the Lord has refined me with the evidence of the fruits of the Spirit that have been produced in my life. The Lord is very intentional in using everything for His glory and our spiritual maturation. The Lord is dismantling the image of perfection that I've held on to for dear life. This has been masked by creating an image of myself of who I thought I needed to be, as well as not being perceived in a certain manner by others. Previously, I used to think highly of myself as a good Christian. I have come to know now that my righteousness is like filthy rags to the Lord. I've lacked depth, understanding, and honesty when it came to my flaws and weaknesses. I felt threatened and defensive when my blind spots were pointed out. Honestly, I didn't want to face the truth about myself or let others into the unpolished, messy parts of my life. One of the biggest lessons I have learned is that vulnerability cultivates intimacy with the Lord, and it builds healthy, strong relationship with others. Lastly, I'm growing in emotional maturity. I have gained an understanding of how to navigate conflict and engage others in a healthy way rather than shutting down or running from it. Surrendering my emotions to the Lord as my first resort rather than venting to others. Owning and admitting my faults and weaknesses. And being someone who accepts correction and is teachable. As I grow in emotional maturity, I'm growing in spiritual maturity. Every day is a new opportunity to be the better version of myself that God has created me to be. A woman after his heart that is being molded into the image of Christ. Well, that's all, y'all. Again, I just wanted to do a part two of what this pruning season has been for me. Again, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you're also in a very intense pruning season, comment below because I get it. I really do. Well, thank y'all. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.